November 19th, Bill McCartney. Welcome to 365 Christian Men, where every day we aim to inspire and encourage with real-life stories about men. When Bill was hired as the head coach for University of Colorado's Colorado Buffaloes, he said, "I promise you, we will have a program built on integrity, honesty, and character." That is how Bill ran his whole life. As a coach, he won 93 games, 3 Big 8 championships, and 1 national championship. But success in coaching was not the only thing on Bill's heart. As a committed follower of Christ, Bill wanted to see the hearts of men changed. During a ride with Dave Wardell, the state director for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, an idea for a Christian men's conference that could be held in football stadiums was birthed. From that simple start, Promise Keeper conferences would be held in football stadiums across the United States, and millions of men would respond to the call to be followers of Christ. On this date in 1994, Bill resigned as head football coach for the University of Colorado.
Climbing the ladder of success only works if your first objective is to be a success as God's man at home with your wife and family. In 1994, at the pinnacle of his coaching career, Bill McCartney had coached an undefeated football team, won a national championship, and helped launch a monumental men's ministry. Yet at the same time, Bill's marriage seemed to be scarcely fastened to reality. His next critical play was as a husband and father. As if running the football program at University of Colorado and taking the team to new heights and victories were not enough, Bill was a major force in starting the international men's ministry, which became Promise Keepers. At Promise Keepers events, tens of thousands of men gathered to be encouraged, to be better husbands, fathers, and men of God. The conferences across America became the largest events ever attended by men in America. Life's back seat, a place where Bill's wife Lindy had grown accustomed, was taking a toll on her emotionally and physically. Battling an eating disorder, she lost 80 pounds, rarely came out of her bedroom, and fought suicidal thoughts. "I just felt like I was getting smaller and smaller." Bill, unaware of his wife's trauma, failed to practice at home what he had been teaching at those stadiums full of men. Lindy said he was like a plumber. A plumber never fixes anything at home. She said he's always out fixing everybody else's plumbing. "I felt like God was the only one I could trust." But on most Sundays, Bill and Lindy sat in their customary seats in their home church and worshiped together. This particular Sunday, a guest preacher stood in the pulpit. He had a message that he said he considered to be the most important lesson he had learned in all of his years of preaching. Do you want to know whether a man has character or not? All you have to do is look at his wife's countenance, and everything he has invested or withheld will be in her face. "She was sitting right next to me," Bill said. "I turned and looked at my wife, and I did not see splendor. I saw torment. I did not see contentment. I saw anguish. And I tried to defend myself to myself, but I could not. That is really the reason I stepped out of coaching. I realized that before God, I was a man without character." Escorting my wounded wife out to the church parking lot, I began to pray about the timing of my resignation from the University of Colorado. On November 19, 1994, Mr. McCartney called a news conference, and with Lindy at his side, he announced his retirement from coaching to spend more time with his wife and family. In that brave moment, their healing began. What a real man does is he lays down his life for his wife, and that enables her to blossom and become everything she could be. Bill said, "Whenever a man takes time to really listen and serve his wife, she blossoms like a flower." I did not always understand that. In Ephesians 5, verses 23 through 25, God tells us, "For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." If life slaps you in the face, how will you respond? Ignore it or change? Climbing the ladder of success only works if your first objective is to be a success as God's man at home with your wife and family.
Bill McCartney, November 19th. This lesson here touches me deeply because I live in Colorado and I live in Denver, not too far from Boulder. And Bill McCartney come in and he took our ragtag football team to a national championship. But not only that, but he started Promise Keepers. And when I was a young pastor, I went to almost every Promise Keeper event I could. Here in the state and in Georgia, we went to a pastor's retreat. But he taught me, or his ministry taught me so many great things. I remember one night, the speaker got up and he says, the first thing he said was, "Men, you need to go home and beat your wives." And it just got silent. And he said it again, "Men, I want you to go home and beat your wife. Beat them at taking care of the kids, beat them at vacuuming, beat them at doing the dishes, beat them at doing the laundry. Men, go home and beat your wives." And it was an amazing time. So I went home and I told my wife about it. Every night when I got home from the conferences, I tell my wife about what I learned. And I told her that he told me to go home and beat you. And she looked at me kind of weird. And I says, "Yeah, he wants me to beat you washing the dishes, beat you doing the carpet, beat you taking care of the kids. He wants me to beat you at everything." And she laughs. And to this day, she brags on that about how I really work hard to beat her at doing the dishes, beat her at taking care of the kids, beat her whatever I can. First thing I do in the morning when I get up, I make the bed. I don't wait for her to do that. So, because she's usually studying her scriptures when I get out of bed. So, men, I want you to go home and beat your wives. It's a thing that we need to be good at, is beating our wives and taking care of them. In the Ephesians, it tells us, "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, to make her holy, to cleanse her by the washing of water and through the word." Our job is to minister to our family. Bill learned that the hard way. He almost lost his wife. And he had to stop coaching and back off from Promise Keepers and spend time on loving his wife and taking care of her, at beating her, at loving him. And guys, we need to do the same thing. We need to be willing to put ourselves on the back burner, to submit ourselves to loving our wives. And I tell you what, my wife never lets me forget about how I make her feel when I do these kind of things. So guys, go beat your wives. Have a good day.